Okay, this is episode 139. You begin whenever you like.
That was a great intro by Eric. I believe we did label him the official introer earlier. Or late at the tail end of last year or early this year. I'm not sure when.
No, it
anyway,
happened.
So there you have it. That was Eric. He mentioned this is episode 139 of the Face podcast. My name is Geoff. With me as always, Andrew and Gavin. This is our first recording in a couple weeks. We didn't record last week because, well, Eric and I went on vacation together, and boy, do I have a video and some thoughts on that to share with you guys today. As a matter of fact, I have so much. I was compiling my notes today before I came over. I have 22 things listed to talk about today. That's what I whittled it down to.
Is that what happens when you hang out with the cast in real life?
It's not all Eric. A lot of it's other stuff. I imagine that I won't get to like 19 of the 22 things because I assume you guys have shit you want to talk about as well. And this is a podcast for all of us.
It is. The triangle, right? Isn't that we
That's
established?
right. The comedy triangle is what we determined.
The comedy triangle. Going back.
I feel like I wronged Andrew yesterday.
Ooh.
Are you feeling wronged?
It's you know, it's funny. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I did ask a hypothetical to both Geoff and Eric before the show started to see where they fell on it.
Oh, I didn't realize that was Gavin.
It was Gavin. It was absolutely Gavin.
That might have
asked
affected
Geoff-
my answer.
I asked Geoff and Eric before, pleasantries, Gavin, that you're never there for, and I expected you not to be there. Much like I should have expected you not to show up last night when I organized. Gavin and I were talking about, because we were doing trials like recently, right? He beat the time. We did that little bet. And then in our off period, I decided to try to beat every time Gavin and Jack have in all the trials games. So I've been doing that. And he sent me a photo of Gavin used to do a thing called Trials Tuesday, where I think you'd get together with your friends and like 4 or 5 TVs will play trials. And I asked Gavin, do you have any more like weekly days that you do? Like a fun, this is like I have a movie Monday type thing. And he said no. And that makes me sad. So I thought, you know what? My friend Gavin, he doesn't have a day for anything. It's Wednesday. We've recently been playing Warzone. So I just texted him, feels like a Warzone Wednesday to me. And he said, absolutely.
And the sucky thing about that is you text me that at like noon. It might have been even earlier. And I just spent the rest of the afternoon so excited for Warzone Wednesday. I was like, oh man, I'm not usually one who looks forward to the evenings, but I was like, I can't wait for later. It's going to be brilliant.
Well, you say that. You said, absolutely, when do you want to do it? I said, what about this time? No reply, which is not completely unusual for you with game stuff. I interpret that as a yes. Sometimes I've written in my phone an answer and not hit send when I thought I did. I thought it was reasonable for you to be there.
What?
I waited
I said, what time do we start? And then you immediately replied with the time.
Yeah, I gave you time. And I asked it as a question.
Yeah.
I was like, does this work for you? You never got back to it. That's fine. You've never missed a gaming thing that we've said. Once there was a time and place, you've always been there. So I assumed you would be. Waited about 20 minutes. Texted to ask if we're rescheduling. You said, oh, fuck. What about later in the evening? I didn't feel like playing later. We're probably going to play for like an hour. I just didn't have it in me. I thought I was tired. So we've rescheduled to today. But what I was asking Geoff and Eric was, were you late for that? Because I asked you a time and you never responded to that request. It was a question. And since you didn't lock in, I wasn't sure if you were late or not, or if it just technically wasn't scheduled.
I've done a dumb thing, which I thought was an amazing hack. I did this about a year ago. I made a shortcut on my iPhone that puts my phone into Do Not Disturb anytime it's on charge. And I figure that way I don't have to manually set it for a time. Anytime it's getting juice, I assume it's in the night and I'm charging and I don't want anything. But I forgot to charge my phone the night before. And I was doing a midday charge, which had the interesting side effect of basically silencing my phone and my watch and everything for the entire day. So it's a flawed system. And then when you were just like, reschedule, I was like, shit. Like I missed the time. I missed I just forgot.
You did. but I didn't know.
I didn't know what time I was being late for, and I'd already been late for it.
But you weren't. According to Geoff and Eric, you were clear. You were not late. It was never finalized.
Geoff and Eric, would you like to change your answer based on the knowledge that it is me?
Would I like to change my answer? 100%. Do I think I can? Morally, no. I still think you're not late. Unfortunately, if it were anybody who were late in this scenario, I would like it to be put on the record that it should be you. But no, I think you're in the clear here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
thanks.
even like knowing it's you, I still wouldn't change my answer. I just don't think that you're absolved of all responsibility in that situation. You never said yes.
I do find it fucking,
but I am very
fucking
sorry.
weird. I've known you for more than half your life now. I've known you probably 20 years, Gavin, or close to it. And you're worse at communicating and being on time and making shit and just general correspondence than you've ever been in your life. And you are in a house of technological wonders. You have a goddamn clock you built just to show up at this podcast on time. You have 700,000 phones and devices to notify you things, and somehow you're at an all-time low. I do think you might want to take a step back and evaluate what you're doing wrong.
Well, it's interesting coming from the person I texted yesterday who didn't reply to me.
Ooh.
Did you text me yesterday?
Ooh.
Well, hold on. I'm not the one on trial here. But let me see. Oh, you texted me last night at 8:43 p.m. I was in the movies when I received the text. And then after the movie was over, I just went straight to bed. So I haven't even had a chance to watch it yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I saw M3.
M3?
Oh, how was M3?
It was good. It was really funny. It was really good.
What do you think is the best entertainment product with a number in the name? Like, do you think Driftria is a good game?
Oh, God, that's
I see what you're saying.
Fuck.
What are some good ones?
Was there like a Scrithurium? A Scriphorum, maybe?
I think the third one, and then I think maybe the fourth one also, and then I think probably the fifth one. I think they all probably had numbers in there.
And it has to be a number replacing a letter, right? So it can't be like a Too Fast, Too Furious where they use the number on both instead of like
Don't think that counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to think about that. That's like if we kind of like a falls poll. We're pulling from all movies and properties ever made. They don't all come to mind so quickly.
That was probably the most confusing thing Andrew's ever presented.
That's not at all.
Because not only did I not understand what you wanted, and the way you described it, I still have problems with. But even in the discussion in person on Office Day, I couldn't even figure out who was arguing for what and who was mad at who. Like, I sat there for that whole thing after I came in, because I came in late to that recording. I couldn't figure out who was on my side at all. Like, I've never been more confused.
It was interesting to see the different sections of listeners and comment leavers having differing opinions, like where things were slanted more. Like, I'd say on our Reddit, there were more people vocal that I was in the right for that system. On YouTube, I'd say it was definitely majority you guys, Eric and Geoff. And then the site was, I'd say, like probably 60-40 for me, for you guys, actually.
But you could have made it so simple just by saying, we'll pick 4 of our favorite falls.
Well, yeah, that was the whole point. I don't understand. So to draft this, why would you draft something that isn't...
Why didn't you call it the Great Face Condiment Draft?
What do you mean by that?
Well, we were trying to come up with the best thing.
Right.
Pick the best thing. Why not just call it that?
But when would we... I don't understand what condiments has to do with what we're talking about. That's where you've lost.
Well, you didn't call it the condiment draft. We picked our favorite condiments.
When did we do a condiment draft?
Oh.
What are we talking about?
It was. I actually remember I listened to it recently. It was episode 63, I believe.
Oh, we did a condiment draft?
No, we did. We made our own condiments.
We just picked the best condiment. We made it.
Okay.
But you didn't call it drafting our condiments or drafting different condiments into the same bowl. I don't know why you phrased it as a draft, is what I'm saying.
Because, well, we're not going to make the same condiment. We could make the same pick.
Is this?
You can't have
make
two
the
people.
Same condiment.
Because they're not naturally going to make the same
What
condiment.
if you also
That's not
made
gonna happen.
shrimp cocktail sauce?
That was also your idea. I don't know. I don't understand why you're coming at me with the labeling of your project. That was your thing.
I'm just saying, picking our favorite things.
Are you asking me?
All of the world.
No, wait.
isn't a
Time
draft.
out. No, time out, Gavin. Are you asking me why I didn't name the idea you came up with the condiment draft?
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay. Because I didn't fucking name it because it wasn't my thing.
You're saying you would have.
I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have ever thought of condiment draft. The draft. A draft is a simple thing. You have a list. We have a pool of falls, and you pick the falls. And to be honest, I was trying to be ambiguous because I wasn't sure if I wanted Skyfall. I didn't want to narrow it down because I wanted some bullshit possibly. That's why it's a draft.
All right.
I did not see continued arguing on the rules of the draft.
Can we?
Being
Let's
on
pivot
the,
to something.
on the fucking bingo card today. I will say though, this is a great opportunity. I wanted to bring up. I've been talking about it with Eric all weekend on vacation. I think we should really do another draft.
We definitely should do another
And we
draft.
should do it exactly the same way with Andrew. Same fucking rules. My recommendation was we do it in March for March Madness, and we just do like basketball related fails or something. But I think this is too good not to do over and over again.
Well, I think the whole thing was phenomenal.
I don't get the pools.
What?
I get the pools, but I don't. Why would we submit? Why would we go through that process twice? Why don't you guys do your own fucking research and don't rely on me bringing in some high quality falls that you're gonna steal from me once we do the pool?
We all brought falls. What do you
I'm
mean?
saying, but if we did the pool idea, right? Like the thought that Eric and Geoff wanted, where we all share a pool of falls. It's Gavin's fault. I'm ready to pivot to something that's actually confusing, which is the Signal Awards.
You're saying that what I wanted, it's not what I wanted, it's what a draft is.
That's just incorrect. It's a false statement. But that's fine. Agree to disagree.
I think the audience liked it overall. I saw definitely a lot of mad people that the videos weren't in our video. But I mean, those are just other people's videos, right? That's what
Yeah, we're not
want.
going to
Right.
steal
Yeah,
people's
100%.
content and
We
get a
don't
bunch
own
of.
any
Then
of
we're
that.
just going to get we would get our falls draft taken down in 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense
Right.
to me.
It doesn't make total sense to the audience for some reason, but
Well, I mean,
it's
I
right.
can understand it not making sense to like people who haven't dealt with YouTube's copyright strike system. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy
As
to
Nick
do that.
correctly pointed out, it's for the same reason we can't play MVP2 for like with you, or we can't upload that
But
movie.
just as a counter argument, as someone who doesn't understand the YouTube copyright strike system and apparently doesn't even understand what a draft is, the Grape Lady didn't upload the Grape Lady falling. Like, that's not their content, right? Like, isn't that weird? Like, how we're stealing from somebody who took video from
but
somewhere
it
else.
is uploaded. And what
I
we
see.
would be doing is putting 20 already uploaded videos into one video and then going, hey, I fucking dare you to take this down. And
But
then
is that
certainly
A process that requires one person to click one button and then no verification to go.
and then also
That's fair.
also puts the whole channel at risk to be in a bad standing on YouTube. So really, I'm just not going to take advice from the audience in general, but especially about this.
You could argue that it's derivative enough and fair use enough for
That's
us to
what I was
actually be able
gonna
to do that.
say.
It's just the systems in place to protect us from that are absolute
Yeah.
dog shit. Yes,
And that's absolutely true. But it's also the thing where people go, well, you can play 14 seconds of a song before you get it taken down. That's not a real thing. That's just a thing people made up. That's like going, well, if the teacher's 15 minutes late, you can leave. That's not real.
Eric went on a rant about that on vacation, actually. It was pretty funny.
Furious.
Is that like the 5 second rule?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
There's probably a case that we could upload those videos, but it would get taken down, and then we'd have to fight it and get it put back up, and then one of the other people would get it taken down, and then it's just like we've all been down this road enough times. There was about a fucking 10-year period where I had nightmares every night about copyright strikes on YouTube for Achievement Hunter. It's not worth it at the end of the day. 3 copyright strikes and you're fucked.
I mean, you kind of screwed after one. Like you get a lot of your features disabled even if your channel's still there.
And then you got to petition to get it back, and it's a fucking nightmare.
What if we just went to somewhere we didn't care about, like Daily Motion? What if we did video only on Daily Motion and just dared people to both find it and then report it?
So your idea is to still steal the content, but just put it somewhere else?
I don't think it's stolen.
Steal
I don't
it somewhere
think that's
shitty.
stolen content.
You think
Listen,
you think it's okay to steal the content as long as you put it in a place that nobody is going to be able to find it?
Well, I think the Grape Lady video was already stolen. So first of all, I don't feel like I'm stealing. The TikToks that's where it gets weird. Where if the faller uploaded it, then
it's worse than that. So then, first off, the news channel of the Grape Lady video could strike us if they wanted to easily. But what happens more often than not with these clips is there are companies that buy viral clips in the droves, kind of like old stock photo companies. And like I think one's called Jash or Jash, but they go and they buy these videos for $75 a piece. So they could quite possibly own a lot of those videos just because the person who uploaded it was funny, and then somebody offered them $350 for it, and they signed away the rights to it. I wouldn't be surprised if most of those videos are owned by a company like that.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
There's a whole economy.
I just think if Yankee fan 22VT is brave enough, there's a way. There's a way for us to figure it out.
Geoff, I have a question.
Yeah, okay.
What's Wheel of Duck?
Oh, Wheel of Duck. Thank you. It's actually not Wheel of Duck. I wrote that wrong. It's Wheel of Suck. Let me write that down. I now have 23 things to talk about today.
Okay. What do you want to talk about most on your list today?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it 6 episodes from now. I think the most time-sensitive stuff that I would like to talk about is the vacation with Eric. I learned a lot about Eric on this trip. I thought that this was the first time I've vacationed with a facer in a very long time. First time I've ever vacationed with Eric. Couples vacation. We went to a beach resort in Cancun together, and I thought you guys might find it interesting, so I wrote down all the stuff that I found that was fascinating about Eric, and I made a little video as well, just to kind of show you guys what Eric's like on vacation. If you'd like, I can upload that to Slack. It's 2 minutes.
To see it.
It's 2 minutes. I kept it as succinct as I could. Made it on my phone today. Okay, I think it's up, so you guys go watch that.
Should we all press play at the same time?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
On Slack? Okay.
And then feel free to describe as you're watching it, since this is an audio podcast.
All right. Are you ready, Andrew?
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Eric on vacation. It has a title card. You've edited this.
Yes.
I'm looking at... Are you just filming him to be... He's already annoyed boarding the plane by the looks of it. He's annoyed at the airport.
I don't like it. I don't trust it.
Yes. I mean, it was 80 like yesterday.
So now he's just texting. Okay, he's on his phone a lot. Is that...
How many planes were you on?
Well...
Is he saying no, don't film me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
a bunch. He's shy.
Oh, in a hotel of some sort?
He's checking into the hotel.
I was really bummed
back
to
of the car.
in the back of the car. I was so bummed to miss this trip. Maybe I'm not now.
No, it's not over.
He's getting boarding passes. I bet you he's going to be... I bet you he's going to be okay with being filmed. This one. Oh, he never notices.
Starbucks.
Okay.
It's like
First class.
there's no footage of the vacation. It's all just the airport.
It's just the airport.
It's Eric annoyedly walking past you in first class.
I got upgraded.
I have so many questions of...
I got answers.
Rooster Teeth is more about, like, you know...
As soon as the video...
How many flights? How many airports is this?
Probably 3 airports, 2 flights. So Austin to Dallas,
Okay.
Dallas to Cancun, then
You're
in
hiding behind a
reverse.
bin?
We did it. We did it. We're back.
Tell me about the vacation.
That's
Great.
where you cut it off?
Yeah. What do you mean? That's where it ended.
The rest of my sentence was, just so you guys know, how was the vacation? I said, it was great. Geoff slept a lot.
I think the video cut off at how was the vacation, and you said
It did.
Yeah, and then unfortunately that's all the footage we had.
The framing.
So anyway, I feel like that encapsulates Eric. I wanted to get like slice of life, like fly on the wall kind of footage of him, and so there you have it.
You said encapsulates Eric when on vacation. I think Eric probably just generally doesn't like being filmed without his knowledge. I assume that is not specifically a travel thing.
I don't know. He's filmed a lot.
I mean, it's just mostly. Who are you excited walking down the aisle in an airplane? Like,
well, you should have been excited because you were going on vacation.
Some of that was coming home from vacation.
Well, yeah. All right. Listen, there is a chunk of the vacation that was cut out.
The vacation?
Well, yeah, but here's why. I mean, that makes sense though, because I was also on vacation and I don't want to work on vacation. So I filmed up until my vacation started, and then as soon as my vacation ended, I went back to worck and I filmed the rest of it.
Well, thanks.
Like the second you leave the resort, you're back on the clock.
Yeah, I was back to work.
That's true. That was in the car going either to or from the airport in Mexico.
Yeah, that was 3 in the morning going to the airport.
Clocked out. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I worked up until the second my vacation began, which was when you and I both checked into the hotel. And then second it was over, I was back on the case.
There's no way you didn't talk about face almost the entire time.
Pretty much the entire time.
It was a lot of talk about the show.
But we were on vacation. It's different. So anyway,
I bet it was Idea Central, though. I bet it was like the ultimate office day.
It was pretty good. Do you want to know some things I learned about Eric?
I will guess that you learned that he hates board games.
I did learn that, actually. Thank you for asking. Thanks, Gavin. I hadn't put that in let me put that hates board games.
At one point, we're talking, and board games were brought up, and then Geoff immediately grabbed his phone and knew. I just knew. I'm like, he's texting Gavin. So I just texted Gavin simply, no. I just texted the word no, and then it was, oh yeah, okay, cool. So he was definitely texting Gavin about this. Great.
Eric, I found out from his lovely small wife, she likes to play board games with friends, and Eric is board game cock-blocking them from doing that. And so I just wanted to let Gavin know that Barbara likes to play
Untrue.
board games.
I play board games with her and with other people for her.
Sounds like you love it.
I do not, and I make it very known that I don't.
Sounds like a great time.
Here are the things I learned about Eric. First off, I would like to point out, Eric had every opportunity in the world for 4 straight days to kill me, and he didn't do it. Not a serial killer, not a murderer. I think you can safely travel anywhere with him. I slept in front of him for 4 straight days. I slept by the pool. I slept by the beach. I slept like anywhere I slept at dinner. Anywhere I could sleep, I slept, and he didn't even harm one hair on my head. So, thumbs up there, big stamp of approval. Traveling with Eric, he's not going to murder you in your sleep. I have
7
reasonable
p.m.
confidence.
Friday night, I get the text from Eric. No, I replied, "What if it's one-on-one chess?" And he replied, "This sucks."
Okay, things I learned about Eric. Eric hates soup. His exact quote was, "It's been almost 40 years, man. I'm just not going to learn to love it." Eric doesn't like board games. Eric hates spaghetti. Eric hates dreams. His dreams and your dreams. He hates everybody's dreams. Eric doesn't think there are enough teams named after spiders. And Eric hates spoons that are hot. He'll eat a spoon with cold food, but if it touches hot food, he doesn't want the spoon anywhere near him. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to Eric.
I mean, there are no spider teams. Just think about it. There should be, and there's not.
He's very upset about it.
Seattle Spiders.
It's not a.
Yeah,
is that a team, or is that just? Did you just pick a name of a city and the name of a spider?
That'd be a great team.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the sport is, but that'd be great.
Yeah,
I think I'm with you on that one. Don't really understand the soup one.
He doesn't like soup. Hates it. Hates
what about
soup.
like
hates all forms of soup?
A mid-temperature food, like a mashed potato. That's warm but not hot. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Do you typically eat mashed potatoes with a spoon, or you eat them with a fork? I feel like I have them with a fork because I'm having other food with the mashed potato.
I guess there are times in my life where I've only had mashed potato. So.
That's true. Me too. So I could say also. Just so you know about the hot spoon thing, that's a Geoff concoction where he started connecting dots. And really all I was saying was like, it was just sort of found out of like, oh, you like hot foods that you would eat with a spoon, like you don't really like that. And it's like, I guess that's just soup mostly. So I just started agreeing. I just started saying, yeah, is easier.
He 100% agreed. I clarified.
I can't think of teams. That's it's a good call. I guess people don't like spiders, but people love Spider-Man. Huh.
I said, so I have a theory about this, because the Cleveland Spiders used to be the team before they were the Cleveland Indians and now the Cleveland Guardians. They were originally the Cleveland Spiders. I have a theory that spiders are not chosen because they are seen as feminine, but snakes are seen as masculine. So you have teams named after snakes, but not after spiders.
Are there a lot of snakes?
Snakes as boys and spiders as girls.
Medusa disagrees.
I can't think of any snake teams. What are snake
Arizona
teams?
Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
That's a snake thing? I didn't know that was a snake thing.
Diamondback rattlesnake.
Yeah.
It's a snake.
Okay. Yeah, but when I think of spiders, I think of Anderson the Spider Silva, which is pretty fucking awesome. So I agree. There should be sports teams, but that's also not.
I think of Donovan Spider Mitchell or Kevin the Durantula Durant.
Is your favorite spider the Durantula?
It's clearly a take on a tarantula.
If we were doing a spider draft, that's a top 3 pick.
Oh, yeah.
Undeniable.
I think it's number 1.
I'm glad that you had fun. I'm glad that you've learned so many things about Eric on your vacation.
I also learned something. We all learned something fascinating about falcons. Do you guys know what do you guys know about falcons?
They're really bad at football.
They're good at punching.
Yeah, he's got a great punch. Anything else? They're no condor.
Well, that's one of my notes. We do need to schedule a condor, man. We get to the resort. It's like an all-inclusive place, which, by the way, all Eric said for 4 days is anytime he ordered a drink, be like, can I get a margarita? And the guy's like, yes, sir. And Eric just go all-inclusive to himself. He wasn't talking to anybody. He just repeated every time he'd take a bite of food from the buffet, he'd go all-inclusive. Yeah, you should.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's how I got so many so fast.
And that's also how Eric got his sunglasses back when he left.
Oh, that's true.
The guy remembered him from the tip and gave him to me to gift to Eric. By the way, the fucking buffet at that place had these candy stars that were kind of like runts that were so fucking good. I'm still thinking about them.
Every meal, Geoff just ate probably 100 stars.
But you're the root canal guy. I don't know why you do it to yourself.
I took care of my teeth.
Okay.
Also, doesn't that line up with what a root canal guy would do? Isn't 100 stars predictable for the root canal guy?
The root canal guy doesn't want to be known as the root canal guy, I assume.
Yeah, but he can't help it. They got those delicious stars all over the place.
The stars are good. I will say that Eric was incredibly consistent with his water adjacency. I never saw him get in the water. I saw him lay near the water a bunch, near the ocean, near the pool. Says he got into the ocean briefly. I didn't see it myself, didn't witness it. All inclusive though, for sure.
Were you mainly pool guys or beach guys?
We started as beach guys and then we retreated to the pool.
Nice.
Because I was nice. literally just like laying down on like a bed with like a little roof on it, you know, and like a cabana, I guess. Laying down in a little cabana at like 9 a.m. Emily would get up at sun up and go like put shit down on the beds for us, and then everybody would just kind of amble on out later. And I would lay down and fall asleep at like 9:01, and I'd get up to go to dinner at like 5 p.m. And that was pretty much it. I'd just sleep the entire time.
That's great.
But anyway, we got there, and immediately a lady walks by us with a fucking falcon, like a giant falcon on her arm with like the leather thing, and it had like a little falcon cap on it so it couldn't see. And we were like, holy shit. And Emily's like, oh my God, they have like a pet falcon we can touch. And the lady was like, don't get near this falcon. And they were like, stay the fuck away from the falcon. And we were like, why would there be a falcon that they just parade around? And we thought, that's weird. Maybe it was a guest or something. But the falcon kept showing up, and we discovered we called it the beach falcon. Then we called it the breakfast falcon. And then, because it was just always around. And then finally I Googled it. Do you guys have any idea why they have a falcon at this hotel?
For rats.
For
snakes.
Rats and birds. It is a fucking defense falcon.
It's the Orkin falcon.
Yeah, it literally, the lady walks around the premises 8 hours a day with a falcon on her arm to scare the shit out of the birds, and it works. The falcon worked every day, and there were no birds. Sunday, I guess we determined the falcon's probably Christian, was taking the day off, having worshiping his bird god, and there were grackles and pigeons everywhere. Or not pigeons, but seagulls. It was insane. So I started reading about it. Falcon protection is a huge industry. A lot of hotels in like North America and in the Middle East all hire teams of falcons. I was reading about it. It's like a big business. Most hotels have like 3 or 4 falcons on staff that just rotate, and they have like 4 or 5 people whose job it is to just take care of the falcons. Not fucking kidding. It's a humane way to deal with pests and shit. I don't think the falcon actually goes out and kills birds, although it could if it wanted to.
It's just like scarecrowing.
Yeah, it's just scarecrowing. Those things are tough as nails. But yeah, it was insane.
Did they make a human version of the falcon cap? I was just looking at it when you brought it up. I'd love to see a person.
Human falcon cap?
A human falcon cap.
Are you asking Unifarm to get involved in
I think Unifarm might need a human falcon cap. Maybe it's like a sleep thing. You can block the sun out with it. Maybe you want to just improve your senses. I don't know.
I'll be honest, the last thing I need to be wearing is a hat where only my nose pokes through.
That's dangerous.
You guys, I'm serious. You guys should only go to hotels with intimidation falcons because you know you're fucking safe. I'm going to ask every hotel's falcon policy the second I book from here on out.
It really should be a booking category. Like when you're booking online, you're like looking for deals, like looking for the cheapest. I would always click falcon supported.
Is that a thing for like would a 5-star hotel have a falcon?
Oh, I think.
Oh, they better.
Yeah,
they better have a falcon if they're a 5-star hotel.
It wouldn't have a falcon. It would have 5 falcons.
How do you think you get from 4 to 5 stars, Gavin? It's the falcon. The falcon is what brings you there.
That's so great. I love that. I mean, I assume it's got to be cruel somehow, but
I don't think
I like
so.
the concept.
Falcons seemed pretty well cared for, and apparently it's a very popular practice among hotels, bigger hotels. So I imagine it's probably like a cush gig for a falcon. It gets training every day, from what I read, and it gets to just fucking hang out by the beach, and it gets Sundays off apparently.
All
You
inclusive.
can't see the beach, but it is near the beach.
But that's what you want. Honestly, there are people that listen to the beach sounds. Like that's still pretty good. You don't need to be there. I prefer the pool over the beach. If I'm going to hang out by something, the beach is almost like a little too much wilderness. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. They also provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order and have donated over 20 million meals to date. Look good in your gear and feel good by making an impact. If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use code FACE for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. That's shadyrays.com and use code FACE for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Today's episode is sponsored by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. Getting a deal is always such a great feeling, whether you're expecting it or not. Sometimes you actually have the coupon in hand, and regardless, it's always great. It's just such an awesome feeling, especially when it surprises you. It's like getting a treat. It's awesome. And thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Now, how it works is imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button appears and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. I have saved money on clothing and food and just all sorts of items using Honey. It's a fantastic service. It's just so easy to use and convenient. And it's just awesome. I love it. Did you know that Honey doesn't just work on desktops? It works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari on your phone and save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting the show. Get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/face. That's joinhoney.com/face. You hear that sound? You should know what that means already. It's the best kind of notification. That's the sound of another sale on Shopify, and the moment another business dream becomes a reality. Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Whether you're selling bread clips or fine art prints, Shopify simplifies selling online and in person so you can focus on successfully growing your business. Shopify covers every sales channel, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform. It even lets you sell across social media marketplaces like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Packed with industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand without having to learn any new skills in design or code. And thanks to 24/7 help and extensive business course library, Shopify is there to support your success every step of the way. What's incredible to me about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify is there to empower you with the confidence and control to revolutionize your business and take your business to the next level. Now it's your turn to get serious about selling and try Shopify today. This is Possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/face. Go to shopify.com/face to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/face.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't even have this listed talking about preferring the pool to the beach. I prefer the pool to hang out by too. The first time, oh my God. The first time Emily and I decided to get in the pool because we'd been beaching it for the first 2 days. And it's like, I don't know what, be careful in Cancun. The water's extra salty there for some reason. It's way saltier than normal salt water. Eric doesn't know because he didn't get in the water, but he loves to argue with me about it. How it's like the appropriately salty, but I'm telling you it was extra salty. Anyway.
It's normal salt water. I just don't think Geoff's in the ocean very much. It's just
no, way more than you are. Way more than you are. Extra salty. I don't know why. It was like the heavy salting this season. We get into the pool. We get into this, like, it's a giant fucking pool that's like 10 pools in one kind of thing, like at a hotel resort. And we get into like this whirlpool area, and like we immediately sit in, lean our backs against the wall, and this group of British and American women come over and they're having a conversation. And I guess the British people, they just met recently, and the British people are just having a conversation, and the American ladies come over, and they're like maybe in their 30s. And I'm not thinking anything of it, except they're very loud. The American lady goes, "This is my friend Kate." I'm making up the name Kate. I don't remember what her name was, but it definitely wasn't Kate. She goes, "This is my friend Kate. She's the one with the yeast infection." And I'm like in a whirlpool with these ladies, right? And then it gets so much worse. Then the British people go, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. You don't have to." And she goes, and Kate goes, "It's okay. I don't mind talking about it. I'm not embarrassed."
This is great.
So Emily and I shot up out of the pool and ran to another pool and jumped back in. And we're like trying to wash the yeast infection off of us. It was so gross. And just not what you want to hear right when somebody gets in a pool a foot from you. And so we're hanging out there for a few minutes, and then Emily goes, "Oh, shit, we left our stuff at the other pool. I'll go back and get it." And she said when she went back and got it, she said they were still talking about it. It'd been 10 solid minutes, and she said they were still talking about it. She's like, "I think I got it I had a lot of antibiotics. And then, you spend 5 or 6 days in a pool, you're going to get a yeast infection."
You guys are so dumb. These are the smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
They were trying to clear the pool. And I bet
it worked.
when Emily went back over, they were like, "Ah, shit, she's coming back." Yeah, this pesky old yeast can't shift it.
They are the smartest women on earth if that's what they were doing. Because it worked like a charm. We were like fucking shot out of a cannon away from that whirlpool.
Did they react at all when you immediately got up? No, it's according to plan.
They high-fived. I don't know why they were
absolutely.
high-fiving, but yeah.
That's incredible. Oh,
I'm going to try that next time. Next time it's a little crowded.
Yeah. What, you're just going to declare that you have a yeast infection?
I don't know. Would that work?
What about, you need a list. You need like escalation. Oh man, I have these contagious warts. Oh man, the only thing that alleviates all these contagious warts on my ankles
Scratch my warts,
water.
please. I can't reach it.
Oh man.
This Ebola's been getting me down recently.
When is this jock itch going away?
That's it. Yeah, just say you had whatever Geoff has had for like the last 8 months.
6 months.
old
Oh
crotch rot.
god. If Jeff's crotch rot mixed with that lady's yeast infection is the next plague. If those things get together and evolve into super virus, that's how The Last of Us started. That is the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, hey, I have one other thing I'll mention here on my list. It's just because it's real quick. I have
Mind
an update.
control.
I have an update on my fridge.
Is the fridge here? It's supposed to be February.
No, it's supposed to be February. But I did. The other day, Emily was like, "Shouldn't we have a fridge by now?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll call them." So the next day, I got up and I called them, and I talked to the lady on the phone, and I said, "Hey, I'm the idiot that bought a fridge a year ago and still waiting on it." And she's like, "Not only do I remember you, I have your fridge."
Oh my
and
god.
I would like to give it to you. This coming Monday morning,
No.
they are delivering my new fridge.
Wow.
I am like 4 days away from having my fridge.
Can we
That's
all
incredible.
be there to like greet it? Can we put a ribbon across the front door?
I would love it if you guys are all well. I'll tell you when they're coming over. Everybody, please come for the ceremony. Yeah,
I think we should all stand in a line either side of the door and clap as the fridge gets wheeled in.
I'm all about it. And then for all the inevitable problems, like how it doesn't fit through the door, or like they can't get the old fridge out because the island is in the way, or there's a hole in the floor where the fridge sat for 30 years, or whatever. You guys will be there to see the breakdown of when I lose my fucking mind.
It's the start of a new season. I think we have to restart. Like we have to go into it's a new arc, obviously.
Will that be
when the fridge
season
gets
6?
installed. I believe so.
Season 6 is
Oh, that might be a good.
new fridge, new problems.
That's a great tagline. We're set. It's definite now.
I want to come over and film it.
Okay, please do. I'll let you know Monday when they call to give me the window.
So excited.
I have like 18 other things to talk about, but I don't have the energy to talk about any of them. So I figure, Andrew, you want to talk about Signal Awards.
Are you tired from your vacation?
All you did was sleep.
No, I'm feeling pretty rested from the vacation. I'm just tired from all of this talking and thinking.
That's fair.
I mean, I can get into other stuff, but it's like high energy stuff. Like
I have one more thing I'll talk about after Signal Awards.
Okay.
Well, it just is very brief. We're talking about things that make no sense. So the Signal Awards have come out. Thank you for all the people who voted for us. We did win the listener's choice.
Thank you to the audience for making us the listener's choice.
Which I think, technically, I was thinking about it, that means that we're not just award-winning friends. We are award-winning friends with the most supportive listeners.
Yeah.
Like there's like a side category of like supportive of friendship. Of all the Best Buddy nominated shows, they are the best buddies to the best buddy. That's like a second, there's like a hurdle. There's like they have won their own award. I think in their own way, they are also award-winning friends. But the confusion of it. So when we got silver
medal, we have a silver medal friendship, by the way.
We have a silver medal friendship, but 2 shows got gold, and every other show in our category got silver, which is very confusing. So then I started looking at other categories. There's some categories where there were 6 shows in the category. 5 of them won gold. 1 of them won silver. Could you imagine how goddamn mad you'd be if you're in a category of all gold and you're just the only silver show? There were like 4 or 5 categories that were that way. I found a category that didn't have a gold show at all. They had 1 silver and 2 bronze was the entire category. So I was like,
How does this
what
work
is
with this ranking system?
I was like, what is this system? I said to Eric that it's like if you were doing participation trophies and it was managed by a drunk dad. It was like from the outside looking into, like, it didn't make sense. Like, everyone won. Technically, nobody lost, but there were different tiers of winning. And like, what does it mean?
On our category, with 2 people getting gold, we were a 3rd place, last place.
No, but we're
winner.
No, we're not. So I emailed them. I was like, what is this system? And they said that the shows were not competing against themselves. They were like, our ranking is based on their panel of judges evaluating the show as an individual thing. So it's not that we lost to the 2 gold shows. We are just silver quality based on their system. It makes no sense. It's not an award. Everyone wins the award, but their panel determines the value of the win, I guess.
How do you get a gold? I bet it's because we don't have a falcon.
And probably the falcon.
Yeah.
If we had 3 more falcons, we probably would get platinum, which isn't even a ranking yet.
I'm glad to hear you guys say that because I do think we should look into protection falconing. I think that's probably
I think it's great. But so we want, so then I was like, well, what, do we get an award for this? Like, are there physical awards? I saw other people that were in the same boat we were that were posting photos of awards. I'm like, how does this work? And they brought up that there's a store page. I don't know if Eric has found out. I guess whoever submitted us should have also gotten a login page to the store so we could buy an award that we would have qualified
I've already
for.
reached out to our PR person, and she's looking into it right now.
Okay, so we don't know how much they're worth, but this, it's probably hundreds. This is where I have what I think is the next great idea for Unifarm. I think we need to make our own awards called the Zimmies and make it seem prestigious and just email companies that they've won the Zimmy award, and if you want it, you have to pay for it. And we can just make money that way. They will think.
Are you just counting on companies just being like, oh yeah, another one for the shelf?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love this idea.
You
The
just reach out.
Zimmies.
If you send out hundreds of emails to brands saying they've won the prestigious Zimmy award, would you like to have a statement about it? Like, congratulations. Also, if you'd like to buy the physical award, here's the link. At least 10% are probably buying that award. We can afford Discord Nitro, which we don't even need anymore. But that's how successful this will be. We can buy stuff we don't need.
I love it.
I like how all the trophies are like so elegant. Often they're like a man or like a woman in a very regal pose. I would love one that's just a freeze frame of Don Zimmer with his face in the ground.
What if we took remember the Don Zimmer teddy bear? Like, what if it was just that gold? So the Zimmies, I think, could be an avenue we need to explore.
I wonder how much we could charge, because I think when I was applying for my visa, we discovered that the guy I worked with had an Emmy that he didn't know about. Like, the immigration lawyer researched him and found an Emmy, and he was like, I don't have an Emmy. What are you talking about? And then he's like, oh shit, I want an Emmy. He had to pay $400 for the statue.
Oh.
So,
Well, if
if the
Emmy's
Emmys are
400,
400, I don't think the Zimmy was going to be.
No, I think the Zimmy could definitely be like 200. I think the Zimmy is
yeah.
at least half an Emmy.
And
Easily.
then we'll just go to a trophy shop,
Yeah,
buy a $9 trophy, put their name on it, and we
Yeah.
pocket $80.
absolutely. That's the plan.
I don't know that
That's
that
the
math. I don't know that money math adds up there.
Probably-
I just did, but close enough.
Yeah. Oh, it's the heart of the idea, the sentiment. Emmys also, they're bullshit. You got regional Emmys. There are
Yeah.
people that have won like the Midwestern Emmys. It's like, that means nothing.
Is it just like franchised around the
Yes.
different smaller awards?
I know somebody who has won like Midwestern Broadcasting Emmys because they
Wow.
they direct. They're like the head of the direction for the Pacers.
Interesting.
So they have like 4 Midwestern Emmys. So it lowers the grade of the. I'm saying easily 200, 250 for a Zimmy. No problem.
I like it. The Zimmies.
I think it could be a great invention for us. I do have
Eric?
one other really brief thing that's just infuriating. As we talked about with trials and whatnot, I've been trying to beat all of Gavin and Jack's times, and it's been going well.
Yeah, every day we've been getting a text from Andrew being like, the only next logical thing I can do is beat all your times in Trials Evolution, and then we just ignore that, and then the next day it's like Trials Fusion.
No, there was a system to it where because I learned that Gavin brought Jack in for the fireplace video to try to beat my times. And so I made a group text with them and said, upon learning of this deception, the only rational and reasonable thing to do is to beat all of your times and trials, whatever the next one would be. And then whenever Jack would reply, I wouldn't respond. But then the next day I would say the only rational and reasonable thing to what you just said is to beat your times in the next game. And I was trying to go through all the games, but then Jack stopped replying. So I congratulated him on doing the dopey marathon thing. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. Like, I appreciate it. And then I replied to that, the only rational and reasonable thing is to beat all of your times and trials, whatever 4 is.
So you've just gone ape shit with Trials.
I've been going ape shit with Trials, and you have some great times, like across multiple games. There's this time where Gavin was like 2000th in the world, and I could not figure out how you did it, and I was struggling with it. And the second Trials game has a bug where when you go to watch replays, it just is glitched. None of the videos work from my experience. So I've been trying to grind it out. I spent genuinely 7 or 8 hours trying to do it. I'm getting close. I'm narrowing it in, and I finally beat it, and I'm so fucking happy. And then this screen pops up. I beat Gavin's time after like 7 hours, and it says, please reconnect. You cannot post to the Xbox Live leaderboards without a connection to Xbox Live. Please reconnect now and try reposting. Alternatively, you can discard your score and continue playing offline. I mashed retry for like 10 minutes and it would not go through. I had to forfeit the time. I had to then spend 2 more hours to get the time back. It took me 2 additional hours because the game was bugged and it just randomly decided to not let me connect.
Oh.
It doesn't make any sense that it can't just store a local copy of that time and just upload it later.
It's complete. It makes 0 sense at all. But that has been, while you were enjoying and learning about rashes and yeast infections and falcons in Cancun, I was trying to beat Gavin in Trials.
And that was in Evolution?
That was the second. Yeah, I think that's Evolution, isn't it?
I don't even remember getting a good time in that game. I remember my freak accident one in Trials HD, but I didn't realize I'd actually done any good in Evolution.
Oh, you have some great times in Trials Evolution.
That's interesting. I wonder if I can take any back.
Xbox 360 did some weird shit to games like that back in the day. I remember one time I was playing an arcade game and I was like 15 hours into it and I had like 1 or 2 achievements left in it. And the internet dropped in the middle of it and it was just all gone. Like I just lost all progress in the game. And when I got my internet connection back, it was like I'd never played it before. It was just like,
God. It
was like Thanos snapped it away. And I feel like that shit happened all the time with 360.
The first Hitman did that to me a lot when it first came out. There were like tremendous server issues. Like I kept getting disconnected. But even though it's a single player game, it would just boot you back to the menu.
Yeah.
Absolutely no sense.
That's so weird. Yeah, that sucks. I never had anything like that. I'd have things like in Fallout, not manually saving ever, just going off of the autosave and dying at the same time as opening a door like 27 hours into the game. So every time I'd reload into my save, it would just be me dying immediately. I had to restart Fallout New Vegas because of that, like 20-something hours in.
The whole game?
Sucked. The whole game. It sucked. That's the only time, and that's how good Fallout New Vegas is. Like I actually went back and I played through it again.
It's a great game.
Great game. Most games, that's the end of it for me.
So Gavin, are you going to beat all those times back?
I mean, I'm sure I can sneak one of them back and reveal it months from now.
Honestly, Geoff, I'm just hoping that he shows up to play Warzone is where I'm at. I'm not too worried about his times.
Is that why you asked me if I wanted to play Warzone with you? Am I your backup in case Gavin doesn't show?
Well, it's just for some reason, we tried to play Halo while you were in Cancun, and there were not enough people in the playlist to find a match for what we wanted to do. And then we started playing Warzone, which Gavin had never played. And he's like, this is great. Why don't you ever invite me to this? And I said, I don't know. You're the only person I play Halo with. This is what I primarily play.
And then I saw there were trios. So I was like, shit. I wonder
There's
if Geoff
quads,
plays.
so you do 4 people?
Yeah.
I played the shit out of Warzone. I haven't really played Warzone 2.
Who'd you play with?
Warzone?
Yeah.
By myself. You can do singles, doubles, trios, or quads. So I would always just play solo.
Do you want to try trios with us?
Yeah, of course.
Nick loves Warzone too. We should just get everybody into Warzone.
Let's do quads. Let's just all play. Let's get Nick in. We'll all play.
Andrew and I did a cool stunt where we swapped cars while we were driving.
That's great. It's a great game. You just do dumb bullshit in the open world. I learned that if you can angle yourself, there's a train that goes around the map, and I learned if you angle yourself the right way, it clips onto you, like you can hook onto it. So I got downed, and then I crawled and I angled myself to the train, and the train just pushed me like 60 feet away from the guy who was trying to find me, because I was going at train speeds while on the ground. It was very dumb. There's some great, the game is so broken, but there's some good dumb bullshit in it.
Do you guys ever think about how every time you go outside, you're walking into a bird's toilet? We live at the bottom of the toilet for every bird on Earth. And I looked it up, there are 50 billion birds on Earth. So basically every day we walk outside, it's like we're walking from one end of a toilet bowl to the other, and we're just hoping the 50 billion animals don't shit on our heads.
I mean, I live in an especially, there's a panel above my front door for my building that got knocked off a long time ago, and nobody's fixed it. And birds now live in the roof, and they just shit down the hole, and it lines up perfectly with I quite literally, every time I step outside, it's you're taking a dice roll.
I feel like I got shat on as a kid so much more than I do now.
Do you think you went outside more as a kid than you do now?
I mean, that must be it, right? Or maybe just birds are more shitty in England. I don't know.
I don't know.
When was the last time you got dumped on?
By a bird?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember a specific incident, but it's happened in my adult life for sure. In the last 4 or 5 years, I would think I've like found a little bit of bird poop on my shoulder or something. I don't know. It doesn't happen that often.
Recently.
For thinking about yes,
my internet's shit today. I think it's because of all the uploading.
Are you still uploading that file?
No, it's done. The fireplace video is up on the Face channel. Now we just have to wait for YouTube to decide if it's going to come out.
It ended up being 248 gigs.
Yes. Well, I tried to make it as big as possible because obviously I'm compressing it down to like 5% of its original size so we could upload it. But I'm trying to max out what we get, and I ended up doing one that was slightly too big, and then I did one again that was like 245 gigs.
Do you know how long it's going to take to process? Does it like give you a
No, shall I check now to see if it's done?
Yeah.
Is it up?
Hang on. Switch account. Eric gave me face today.
Is that your bird shithole?
That's my bird shithole. It lines up perfectly with the walkway right down here.
Dude,
lines up straight. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game.
Uh-oh. It says checks still running. Checking one found. What does this mean?
Uh-oh.
Did we film a copyrighted fireplace?
No. No.
Could you imagine if, like, Brick, you could copyright Brick?
No, it's just us and our
like
shit
it's
in
art.
there.
Yeah.
Oh. No, it just
What's
says
wrong?
copyright still checking. So what does it say one found? Okay, so by the looks of it, it hasn't even started processing yet.
Okay.
So why have you been going outside? What have you been doing?
Oh, I've just been a bit of a stump guy. I'm trying to get rid of a stump, getting chainsaws involved. And you know how, like, I'm just, like, technology's getting away from me. Like, I got really confused when I thought I was talking to Dan, but I was really talking to my own ringtone and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I was just chainsawing down some branches and stuff, and I thought, oh, that's a cool new feature. Every time I started chainsawing something, the volume on my AirPods went up. And I was like, oh shit, do they have like automatic noise compensation? This is great. And I was like practicing it. I was like, wow, it does. Every time I start chainsawing this log, it turns up the volume. And then when I stop, it turns it back down again. This rules. And I was like almost about to go inside and bore Meg with that. And then I realized what was actually happening. I'm going to post a Slack right now.
Okay. 5-second video.
The glove was rubbing against the dial on my watch and turning the volume up and down. Basically, every time I moved my arm in that direction, my glove would roll up the volume, and then I would stop and it would roll the volume down. And I was like, oh, that's not as...
How big around is this stump are we talking about?
Ooh, I'd say... what would that be? A foot?
Front yard or backyard?
Back.
You just need to hire a guy with a stump grinder to come in and take care of it.
Now, here's where you're wrong. My quote for getting the stump ground away was like $350. And I have a chainsaw which I think I've ruined, and an axe, which I've ruined, and a bunch of other tools. And it turns out I was more determined to waste $350 destroying the tools I already have than just to pay a guy to do it.
Yeah, the cool thing is he'll come and do it, and all your shit doesn't break, and then he leaves, and he probably takes a lot of the sawdust and shit with him. I've had a lot of stumps ground, and it's like the coolest service ever, and it's also fun to watch.
The thing is that annoyed me though is you could buy a stump grinder for like $1,000, so that guy's making back the money on his grinder within like 4 or 5 jobs probably.
What you're saying is we need to get into stump grinding as a side hustle.
Or at least we should definitely have one so it's like an option for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like you're always using them.
I've had like 3 stumps ground in my yard, I think, or 4. Yeah.
Now, I've never heard a stump grinder?
Yeah.
It's like what is that?
It's like a machine with circular saws and a bunch of, it looks like a horror movie. It looks like something you got to saw.
Huh.
And there's different kinds. But the nice thing about a stump grinder, too, is it gets under the... Because, you still have the fucking giant-ass... what are connected to stumps?
Roots.
Yeah, you
Roots?
go. God
Yeah.
damn, dude.
And that's what I'm up against now is that
stupid as I get old.
I'm having to dig. I'm like chainsawing away, getting through slice by slice, and I'm having to dig up lower, like trying to... eventually, I'm just going to bury what's left of the stump, I think, because I've destroyed all of my tools.
Are you at least like on your way to a bean hole? Like how's the whole, once you get rid of the stump or you bury the stump, how far until you think you're in bean territory potentially?
I'm definitely not as deep as Geoff's, and I'm making, because I should have just done 10 minutes of research, but all I'm doing is just kind of screwing around. Like I'm drilling deep holes into the stump to make it easier for me to cut it into slices. But then when I'm digging, a bunch of stone, like my yard is full of tiny stones and rocks like Geoff's. A load of the stones are like falling into the holes. So then when I'm chainsawing through the stump, it's like a firework display. Like the chain is hitting the tiny stones and sparks are just shooting stones out of these holes. It's lethal.
It's not
I'm really
worth it.
glad you saved that $350 as a
Yeah, it would have been the best $350 I ever spent, it turned out. As I almost blind myself and set fire to the yard.
We're right at like that hour, so we do need to wrap up, but I'm going to post this and then you guys see it, and then I'll delete the link so that way he doesn't see it. But this went up today.
Oh man.
This is something we should promote. If you go to store.roosterteeth.com, we put up a new 4-inch decal that is Jack's face that simply says anal passage below it. There's no other piece. That's the whole thing.
Is that what is that what I approved today?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you probably should have looked at it. That's why I tagged you, brought you over there. I knew you weren't going to look at it.
They just
That's why I brought it up here.
just said, "Can we sell the anal passage sticker?" And I was like, "Yeah, why wouldn't you sell it?" I didn't realize. Well,
What's wrong?
All right. Well, shots fired, I guess.
Well, it's on sale now. Store.roosterteeth.com.
Wait, Geoff, what did you think it was?
I don't know. I just thought maybe like the logo with the anal passage logo.
Isn't that a cool answer for the guy who's approving it?
I forgot.
What did you think it was? I don't know.
I was in the middle of writing stuff. I was busy. It was just a fucking sticker. I didn't realize. Well,
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
And there
Worse than not replying. But once again, that's
Absolutely.
get to it when you get to it.
Yep. So that's on sale now. Store.roosterteeth.com. Go and check it out. It's a lot.
He's gonna be mad.
Before we end, have you guys seen that new Peacock show, The Traitors?
No.
All right. Well, you should watch it because it's a reality TV competition show. It's basically Werewolf,
Okay.
the game, but live action, where 20 people are like 10 reality TV stars, I think, or 15 or something, and then like 10 or 15 normal people, and they're all in a house, and every night they go to bed and one of them gets murdered, and then the next morning they try to figure out who the traitors are. I mean, it's Werewolf. It's exactly Werewolf, but it's done like in a castle in Scotland. It's done really well, and it's got a lot of people you'll recognize from Big Brother and Survivor and stuff, but Alan Cumming is the fucking host of that show, and he is the most delightful host I've ever seen in the history of reality TV.
That feels perfect for him.
He is worth the entire show is worth watching it just for the moments that he's on camera. He is a goddamn treat to watch. And I wish we
I've
had
seen him not in character.
I wish we had people of his caliber hosting reality shows like this. I hope it's a sign of things to come. Because
He's Scottish, right?
he takes it to a whole other level. He's phenomenal. And it's also cool to see Werewolf done in a high production setting. It's a lot of fun.
Is it like one game that's being told throughout this entire season?
Yeah,
Or is
it's
it-
basically like in the daytime they get up. There's like 3 traitors and like 17. I forget what they call them, but like normal people, faithful they call them, like 17 faithful, and then they'll do a competition together to win money. And basically, it's different than the mole in that, like in the mole's trying to get them to lose money, and that's how they succeed. In this one, if any of the traders are there at the end, they win the money. And if no traders are left, then the people that are left win the money, and it's like 250 grand. And so they do like a competition at the beginning of the show where they try to make as much money as possible. And I guess like the traders can fuck with them if they want to, but it doesn't really help them because they're trying to look unsuspicious, and they want to live to steal the money later anyway. And then they'll sit around a round table and they'll vote somebody out who they think is guilty, and then they just all fight about it, and then they go to bed, and then the traders murder somebody. So every episode, 2 people get eliminated, which is cool.
That's great. What you're describing feels perfect for Alan Cumming. Like I could just murder mystery type thing, like him really leaning into that. That'd be fun.
He just has like fabulous outfits, and he's like so emotive and just like in it. Like he's just great in it. So anyway, that's my recommendation. Watch Alan Cumming host the trade.
Best Alan Cumming role?
Was Floop, Spy Kids, the Spy Kids guy.
I didn't know what you were saying there.
Floop, right? His name was Floop.
Either.
I thought
Was
you were
it Floop?
malfunctioning.
No, I think it was Floop. He's great in that.
What do you think the best Alan Cumming role is? GoldenEye?
Yeah, he's invincible.
He's pretty good in GoldenEye. Was he in
No Floop.
Yeah, he was Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
He was
he's
Nightcrawler.
great as
Yeah.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, that's right.
He's very
Yeah.
good.
So you're going to let me know on Monday when I should come and film the fridge?
As soon as I find out, I will let you know. And then I actually made it through a lot of my list today. I appreciate you guys indulging me. I have still to cover in a future episode cookbook progress. I've made a lot of progress on the cookbook I was going to talk about.
You've been killing it with that cookbook.
The novelization of... I really wanted to talk about the novelization I did and how I wanted to know how everybody liked it. Gavin didn't seem to like it, but everybody else, I was wondering.
It's a bit biased.
I've got maybe I'll read it next episode.
Yeah, you should read that passage.
I just made it like as a test, just a little I'll do it right now if you want. I got it fucking open. Let's see. So I thought the other day I was reading, I was reading Reddit, I believe, and somebody had listed a transcription of all of the cucumber stuff, and I thought it read funnier than the podcast was, and that got me thinking. I wonder what would happen if we novelized an episode of a podcast. So I did the other day when I was writing the cookbook. I took a break from the cookbook to write just one page of what it could look like. And so here, I'll give this to the audience, and we'll see what you think. Face episode 135, The Novel, adapted from the podcast of the same name by Geoff Ramsey. This is short, so just sit with me. As with most days, it began with an argument. I was not earlier than noon, a clearly defensive Gavin declared. Technically, it was 11:59 when you jumped in on my clock, Eric calmly started, as Gavin interrupted. What was it? It wasn't, he declared indignantly, with the pompous whine reserved for only the most posh of Brits. Eric continued, undeterred, unfazed. I'm just letting you know. Your clock is... he began, but Eric continued patiently, knowing full well how to deal with the mood swings of this man-child. All I'm saying is that it was 11:59 on my clock. That's all. I'm not accusing you of anything. Your clock is wrong. I'm simply stating a fact. Geoff chose that moment to enter the conversation. It was 11:59. Well, hold on a second. He then immediately and expertly switched gears, refusing to be derailed. Hello and welcome to the Face Podcast. Eric, what number is this? And with that, the podcast was officially in session. This is 135, Eric answered, trembling with fear of Geoff's impressive nature. Episode 135, probably. My name is Geoff Ramsey, and with me as always, Gavin Free and Andrew Penton. And Gavin, you were 1 minute early today. You've never been early in your life. Why did you decide to change things up? A brilliant dig, knowing it would strike at the weakest part of Gavin's perennially on-time psyche. The Brit was defeated, and he knew it, but tried to defend himself anyway. I wasn't early. I joined exactly 12 o'clock. A statement clearly no one believed, least of all him. And scene. That's all I have so far.
Why do I sound like droopy?
You sound like you've been attacked by 90 bees.
Oh, that's just
You
my
said
Gavin
just-
voice. That's just
that's
how
a
that's how
great-
he sounds to me in my head.
Oh my
when he
god,
talks.
I wish he sounded like that to me. I'm
What
jealous.
does Andrew sound like to you?
He hasn't come up yet, so I haven't thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Ah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I had a
gonna be
slight
horrendous.
issue with that retelling.
I mean,
Oh,
it
Eric,
was,
I can see
word,
that.
it was pretty word for word.
I just had a realization that is, I'm disappointed in myself. I'm ashamed. I
Why
can't
is
believe
that?
I've done this. I did not, ever since we started the icy hot thing with the balls and like the ears and whatnot. And I remember I was iced up that episode. Remember that one? Long time ago?
Yeah.
I've applied icy hot to my ears every single episode we've recorded from that point forward. And I forgot today. The streak is over.
You have not
Oh.
been very funny today.
The streak is over.
Wow.
I'm disappointed.
It showed too, no offense. Wow.
Disappointed.
How do you feel like it affected your performance?
I think it was fine. I think it was a solid performance by me. I think it's on par with recent performances.
Well, let's see what the audience says.
I'd agree.
Anyway, by the way, if you would like, audience, if you want Eric, if you want Andrew to continue icy hiding his ears before episodes, let him know. If you want me to continue writing the novelization of episode 135, let me know. I was really enjoying it, flexing my writing muscles, and I feel like I captured the true nature of face. And I guess it's about time for us to wrap up. Does anybody have anything else they want to cover before we end it?
Didn't you say it took like 16 listens to get?
Oh,
that
so annoying. I had to listen for that one page. It was probably, I had to listen like over and over and over and over and over again. It was a fucking nightmare. It would be very difficult to make a whole novel from a whole episode, but I would do it if there were enough demand.
Please don't.
And tune in next week. Did you guys have anything else?
No.
All
I think
right.
Eric had
Okay.
something.
Oh,
You think Eric did?
what did you want to say, Eric?
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Follow us at Face Pod on Instagram and on Twitter. But that's the end of the episode. Goodbye.
Yeah, there you go. Tune in next week.
Nope,
for
I already did it.
Cookbook-
Shut
it's
up.
not over then.
Goodbye.
Cookbook progress. Make 2023 the year of lists. Emily's sleep routine. We're going to talk about how we should all work at the mall just for fun. We're going to talk about how I set a prime rib on fire. We're going to talk about how we need to invent a new noodle. We're going to talk about food teleportation. We're going to talk about the Go-Go Gurpler. We're going to talk about a book it took me 3 years to finish. We're going to talk about Action Bronson and music with drums and lions. We're going to talk about the mall being back, baby. And I got numbers to prove it. We're going to talk about an idea I had for a show called Face Catches a Game. We're going to schedule Condor Man. We're going to talk about the Wheel of Suck. And Andrew had a new idea for a show as well. All next week, where we also invent the human falcon cap for sleep. Bye-bye.
Season 5's going to be fucking awesome. Or 6. Where's 6? 6. 5 was great. 6. God damn it. I fucked up.
Hey guys, Major League fan Jack here with a look at next week's episode of Face. Do seasons have episode limits? We get an update on Geoff's fridge. What the hell happened during Does It Do? The banana did not injure Geoff. What do you do with a used sofa? The boys enter the war zone, and once again, Andrew does not eat the pencil. All that and more on next week's episode of Face.